Hello, and welcome to Dress to Kill, your favorite fashion in action movie podcast. Today is an exciting episode. We have Elma here with me already. Oh my God, ready? We're right here together. Well, we're on the phone together. But this episode is a special one. You are bringing a subject to the table that you've only given me a brief outline of because I'm to hear it on the pod. So why don't you intro what we're doing today?
Yes. So today I wanted to talk about what makes a quintessential Bond girl look, or what are quintessential Bond girl outfits? Because we talk a lot about we talk a lot about cosplaying on our podcast
and on our
we
friendships.
Love the dressing exactly. And you do amazing cosplays. So we've talked about doing we've talked about all these like things that we Bond girls, because they're such great characters, like ones that we'd love to cosplay all the time.
Yeah.
So I thought, let's talk about what makes kind of like what are the iconic Bond girl looks? What are the things that you think about when you say Bond girl? What images come to mind?
Yeah.
And let's kind of dissect that a little bit.
Oh, I love that. And you know, secretly, I'm going to just reveal this secret. We shot some cosplays of Bond looks. And we shot them in thinking we would maybe get to post them for Halloween, but it was just a busy time and they didn't work out. But we are still intending to release our cosplays, our Bond cosplays. And we have a few in mind also. These are, when I say we, I mean we have some together. I mean, of course, separately as well is fantastic, and maybe that'll happen, but we do have a bunch of looks together as well that we're trying to work on that are really exciting. Can I give just like a brief intro to the cosplaying?
Yes, I would love to hear more, because between us, you're the cosplay expert. I want to hear.
I do more the cos.
Okay. Yes, because I have specific questions about that too, so please tell me.
I'm not like an extreme expert or anything like that, but I have done a lot of cosplays, and I've kind of, I don't know how to put this, but I've worked in the like nerd social media world, and so I feel like I've had a lot of conversations straight up and like dissecting of people who are cosplayers, so I feel like I have a little bit of insight in that way. For me, what I think is most important in a cosplay is you have to have like what you're saying, like there are certain iconic elements of the character, and those things have to be pretty precise and dead on and present, and besides that, you can kind of, you know, there are different layers of a cosplay. You can be like a really exact cosplay, or you can kind of be a very general, like more like a Disney bound or like an homage. But
yeah, it's an art. You can
it's like there's a spectrum for sure of how deep you're going to cosplay. But for regardless of which one you're doing, you need those like specific iconic elements need to be there. So like a good example is I have been wanting to do a cosplay of the Powerpuff Girls. So they're on my mind.
Yes.
And like, so for them, there are certain iconic elements. Like they have either it's going to be all of them have the high socks and a black belt and black shoes. And then they have different color dresses they wear. So like, you know, as long as they're in the right color scheme, but then either all three of them should have that black belt and black shoes, or all three of them should have some form of like standout white socks or something that like presses home the iconicness. Maybe it's they all have the same haircuts as they do in the show, like something that like that brings it. Something has to be pretty specific about it, and then the rest can be very general and just like playful. If that makes sense. And sometimes it's the makeup. Sometimes the makeup is what's specific, like, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that was basically my question. Like, what are the things that you need to get? What are the important things
and
that
then
you need to consider when cosplaying?
Yeah, and we could talk at the end also about photography of cosplay. Like, that's a bit of a thing. I don't want the whole episode to be about cosplay, but I just wanted to say that, which is why, like,
yes.
Bond is so great, because there are so many iconic Bond women and Bond styles. Like you're saying, there are essences of Bond women that are like, that's what you have to hammer home for a cosplay.
Yes, exactly. And I love the stuff that we're talking about, it being a cosplay stuff like episode, because we talk about this with like men in the Bond community a lot. Like, is it cosplaying if you're just, you know, because there's a lot of men that love to dress like James Bond.
Of course, he's a style icon.
Yeah. He's exactly. And at that point, is it cosplaying? Like, that's something we've questioned, but it's, this, I feel like, same with the Bond women. It's like there's these iconic pieces of clothing. Is it considered cosplay when you're,
right,
dressing up as them? I don't know. What do you think? Like, I think it's.
Well, yeah, you tell me yours first, please.
Well, I think it's just like you get to dress. The amazing thing about Bond is that the clothing, for the most part, is very classic and timeless. There's like the super trend oriented stuff on the fringes, but I love that. I mean, you can just look stylish, and a person passing by might not know you're dressed up as a Bond girl or Bond. But like people who know the thing will really know and appreciate if you get the details right. So it's like a cosplay that passes as everyday clothes.
Totally. That's what I was going to say. Like,
opinion.
It's different to cosplay characters like the characters you'll see in Bond and James Bond, because that's also like normal wardrobe. It's not like a cartoon, like my example earlier. So
yeah, superhero.
Yeah, it's a little different. And I feel like because of that, you have to get the cosplay right when you're doing a character that dresses kind of like a normal person, you have to get multiple of the elements aligned. Like, do the makeup. If it's a girl, usually you can rely on makeup as being a big aspect. Get the makeup precisely like the character. Get the hair. If you're using your natural hair, like if it's more of an homage, just get the styling similar. Like, it's not that you need to have the exact color and length, but to really hammer it home, like have the standout iconic elements of the garment, the styling. Like if it's the high white socks or the black belt or both, or whatever it is, and get the makeup right, get the hair right, get the make sure you don't forget to acknowledge the accessories, even if they're not dead on. Like, if maybe you can't get the long gold gloves, but you can get some kind of gold something embellishments on your arm, so that you're still like suggesting that part, and then get the iconic elements with the hair and makeup. That's, I mean, in my experience, that's how you tell the story of like, this is me being that character. And what I also, I've just
tips.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I've never talked about cosplaying. It makes me want to do more. What I love about oh shoot, I'm forgetting what I was gonna say. What I love about cosplays are wonderful, playing a character, but what I love about like homages, where it's kind of, it's not exact, it's like your take on a style, is that it really is an evolution. It's a combination of that character and surely things you love about that character, the reason you would want to cosplay them, mixed with you and who you are. So it's showing part of yourself as well. It's not just completely becoming another character. And that's, I kind of think, that's part of the sparkle in, I feel like cosplay is, there's two reasons it gets exciting. One is to see a character that is on screen in real life. Like, that's a fun thing that people like to do. So that's a great thing about cosplay. And the other thing is becoming, like, embodying those elements from a character. Like, there's, mostly it's a character you love and you want to like bring part of that into your life. And if you're just dressing like Bond, for example, because you feel that way, you want to bring part of him into your life, you love the way that he is or the style he has, like, that's great. But if you're doing it all the way as a cosplay, even, it's that same feeling of like trying to bring forth those parts of you or acknowledge those parts of you that are similar, that you appreciate this about these characters. And I love that about homages. It's such a good way to communicate that without saying anything.
Yes. Dude, you're literally answering all my questions about cosplaying.
I should let you talk. Yes. Oh my god. No. Got me on a
That's
topic I
amazing. No, it's perfect. I was like, I didn't even have to set it up. You just went straight into it, which is great, because I was just thinking, like, my next question was like, when you cosplay, how much of the character do you bring into, to yourself? And that's exactly what I was thinking, because with these Bond women, a lot of them are badass, like confident, getting shit done, like kicking ass women, and definitely
who are also like gorgeous and stylish. So you're like, yes, I want to be like that.
It's all of it. Yes. So when you put on those knee-high boots or like the high heels or whatever that makes you feel different, like you're gonna bring that out in you. Hopefully, just like it's like enhancing stuff that's already in you, and you're just pulling from these amazing characters. So spot on. That's like awesome to hear.
Absolutely. When you're intentional about wearing a garment, when you're like, I love the way this character wore this, so I'm going to wear it, like that intention is present when you wear it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start breaking down kind of if you think about Bond girls, what are the visuals that come to mind? What are the most iconic looks? Let's start talking about it, because I put together just a quick short list. Like, let's first compare James Bond and then his iconic outfits, because this is talked about so much. He has like a gray suit is very common with him. The white tux with the red carnation is another one that he wears a lot. The safari suit. And
you know what? I'll tell you, because I've been thinking about Bond cosplays since the second we started this podcast, so I hadn't seen many Bond movies yet. I'll tell you, the safari suit on Bond is not at all something I did not think safari suit zero when I thought of Bond. And even now, I still feel like it's something I'm really learning about James Bond. I'm like, this is not iconically how I saw him like at all. So I feel like that if you were cosplaying him in a safari way, or if a person was, even just, you're wearing something similar because you like it, I feel like that's much more Bond community. It's more like deep cut. I think your average outsider would be like, what, safari James Bond? What are you talking about? Like, okay.
Okay. Interesting. I love to hear that. At least from
my perspective.
Yeah, because I want to know then, what do you think about for the Bond women from like what do you think? I mean, seeing the movies that you have already and knowing what you do now, knowing what you know now, what do you think is kind of an iconic Bond girl?
Yeah. Oh man,
outfit.
Dude, Lou, as you know, I just feel like I have to tell people I call Elma Lou also. Everyone.
Oh yeah.
Occasionally I'll call you
FYI.
Lou to someone and they're like, who are you talking about? I'm like, she's right here.
Who's Lou?
It's Eruma-chan.
It's exactly. It's shortened Lou from Eruma.
It's the cutest
Elma.
And I love it.
Yeah.
Your name is the best to nickname, and I'm obsessed with nicknaming, so like, ooh, it's a nice match.
Yay. So honored.
Oh yeah. So this past Halloween, I was really thinking like, well, we have this podcast. I would love to do a James Bond look for Halloween. If you don't know, on my Instagram at least, I try to do a lot of different cosplays for Halloween, like litter the month with styles, outfits, homages that are like based on characters. And I really wanted to do something James Bond, which is why we ended up shooting so much, but haven't released them yet. And so I was thinking about this a lot, and I feel like for me, I wanted to reach as many people as possible. So I was trying to think, what is iconic, even if you don't like know Bond, like what would be an iconic look?
Yes.
And I thought the first things that came to mind were the white bikini, of course. And the more we talk about this, the more we get to know like, oh wow, why it's so iconic. And there's so much craft reason for it to be iconic, like it coming out, history and all this. And the other one I thought of that would be very classic Bond girl. I mean, besides just like dressing nicely and being next to a man in a suit, like that looks very Bond
like
girl.
Glamorous.
Yeah, having like a gun on your thigh strap or something, or a knife.
Ooh,
fake,
yeah.
Of course, not a real gun. No. But and to be honest, guns in any environment are too scary these days. Like, make it a fake knife, please. Even if it's a costume. Yeah. It's just like, don't push it. People have a lot of anxiety. Nobody needs to have any kind of fear.
Yeah.
Come into them.
It's just cosplay.
Yeah, make it very obviously we're not bringing any of that around in public. Let's make it a fake knife. Let's chill. Or a dull ass knife, whatever. Anyway, so I thought either you're like with a guy and it's because you're a couple, or the white bikini, or the being a golden woman. It's Goldfinger?
Yes, gold painted girl.
Yeah, which movie is that from?
Goldfinger.
There's too many gold names.
Goldfinger.
Okay, that's the right guess.
Goldfinger.
Yeah, being like a completely gold, like that girl.
Wow.
Those are the things that felt like identifiably iconic from the outside to me.
That's so true. You know, I didn't consider the just being gold as like an iconic, but you're so right. Like that is completely unique to Bond. Like no one else that I know of has like done that except when they're copying Bond.
Totally. Yeah.
Same. The white bikini too. I think like if you see white bikini that looks somewhat structured and like, you know, like the way that Honey Rider's one does. Dr. No, it is Bond girl. People will
Yeah.
say, "Oh, look like a Bond girl in that white
Exactly.
bikini."
Like if you scroll and you
Right.
okay, I'm saying scroll because I follow a lot of fashion and like swimwear accounts.
Yes.
So for me, if I scroll,
So do I.
if you see a swimwear image come up of a white bikini, my first thought is always like, oh, it does look so Bond girl. Like I think exactly that.
Yes.
So of course, yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Okay, cool. We got white bikini, thigh knife or gun.
Yeah, always-
And then
yeah.
gold girl.
Yes. It
Those
like
are
the
great.
accessories would
Okay.
be little like gadgety killer accessories.
Yes.
Any kind of little
Yes,
gadgety
yes,
killer
yes, gadgety
accessories.
things.
You're getting it, you're working it. And the other thing with the gold bikini, not the gold bikini, the white bikini is it's repeated enough. Like there are homages in future James Bond films to the past James Bond films. So that vision of the white bikini, it's not just iconic because of the original, I think it's that first James Bond movie or one of the first few.
It is the first one.
Yeah. It's not just iconic because of that, but it's repeated so much that it's stayed in the ether, you know, to be identifiable with Bond.
Kissy Suzuki wears it in You Only Live Twice. And then also like Natalia in GoldenEye, the one with Pierce Brosnan. There's like a brief scene where she's wearing a white bikini and like a wrap.
Yeah, I think there's a few
and then,
others
you know,
too. I feel like it pops up all the time.
Well, yeah, there's definitely, I mean, Halle Berry's was orange, but it was definitely
But it
like
was
the same.
I was just going to bring up Halle Berry's
Yeah.
because even Halle Berry's, which is not even the same cut and not even the same color, it still felt like an homage to that first one. I think it's just the way she likes walking up from the sea, but it felt like
And
clearly
the knife,
this
the
is an
knife is
homage.
the big part.
Of course, yeah. The knife is the knife is it.
Yes. So
that would be the
accessory
accessory you need, like to talk about how we talked about cosplay earlier. Like you gotta have the thigh strap and something that appears knife-like, and that has to be like for sure. You can't just like
Yes.
I mean, if you want to do it well, you can't just like paint your thigh. Like, you know, get a black spandex and tie it together. Something.
Yeah, totally.
That brings it home.
I fully agree. The other things I want to include is like a leather catsuit. I think that's pretty Bond girlian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially
So
for these,
you
like
see
for the Bond community, there are a lot more cosplay options inside of people who have some awareness of Bond. You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm just talking about iconic.
Yeah,
if you don't even watch Bond, you would recognize it. But like, oh my God, the options are endless when you start getting in. Yeah. Okay. Tell me the rest.
I love hearing your input on that because that is literally like the definition of iconic is like when people know it enough that it comes from that. So those are like the key ones, I would say, the ones that you said. And then yes, a leather jumpsuit because it just looks like spy badass girl, and that is copied everywhere.
Yes.
And I don't think it was even Bond that first did it.
That's
like
what
I think the
ask.
Avengers TV show was more maybe had an influence on that, but I mean the Bond spy genre has totally ran with it, and you see them do it so well in like Thunderball with Fiona Volpe. Oh, I texted you pictures, by the way, of these some of these girls if you want to look. So like Fiona Volpe rolling up on her motorcycle in the full leather suit.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
an image you won't forget. I mean, Halle Berry with her unfortunate leather cat suit, but you know, they're still doing it.
It's so funny. She's also Catwoman and much better
my
cat
God,
suit
you're
in
right.
it. But the beginning of the movie styles are kind of purposefully horrendous.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh my God. We have to do that one. Maybe it'll be a bonus between seasons.
Okay, perfect. And then another leather catsuit moment is Wylan from Tomorrow Never Dies with Michelle Yeoh in her full leather catsuit walking sideways down the wall, or like on the wall, stuff like that. I think it's definitely Bond's girl look.
Yeah, it feels for sure iconic spy. So I get that. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Another, I mean, you've already kind of touched on this, the evening gown, like glamorous, that is like essential to being Bond.
See, that's one that's harder to like just openly cosplay. If you're doing a specific movie,
for sure,
much easier. obviously.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean,
But it's very Bond girl. That's more like, oh, I have style like a Bond woman. Oh, love it.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you think about in every movie, what does a Bond girl wear? There's always going to be either, if not all, a bikini, an evening gown, maybe like a silk robe or like a night gown, like a nighty situation.
Or like a sheet.
Yep, a sheet and a choker.
Yeah.
And then if you want to break it down even further about like the evening gowns, there's almost always or very, very, very often plunge necklines.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say
cleavage.
titties.
Right?
Boobies out.
Titties. Yes. Essential Bond girl. Or like a high slit, which I love, like a double slit, high slit.
Yeah,
that
deep
kind of
plunge, high
like
slit.
show
Damn.
legs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know how you feel about the very low cut neckline, but
I don't hate it. It's just like, again.
No, I know,
okay.
I know. It's just exactly. That's what made me realize. I'm like, yeah, I guess a deep V is very much a Bond girl look. Like,
I guess so.
Plenty O'Toole from
Plenty
Diamonds Are Forever, for example. Named after your father, perhaps. Plenty O'Tit. Yes, beautiful evening gowns in all of them. Anyway, and then silk robes. I think you see so much robe featured in so many robes featured in
robe
these movies.
action. Yeah, and I think that lends itself to the like luxurious part of Bond, the like wealthy, relaxed, like cool under pressure, and just always having. There's something very like wealthy and luxurious about having a different outfit for each room, kind of, and like so when I'm home in this. In the boudoir, I'm wearing my robe, and when I'm in this kitchen, I'm wearing a beautiful dress, and you know.
That's so true. It's very luxury.
Yeah.
Like
it calls back to like the early 1900s, like changing for every occasion, and
yes, right.
It's
about dressing for occasion. Yes.
It's like you spend if you spend 20% of your day just changing into the next outfit, you're wealthy. That's true wealth. You know, next time I manifest abundance, I'm just going to be like, change often enough
I'm
throughout
changing
the day.
all the time.
Yeah, wear at least 5 different looks a day, and that's abundance. That's what it feels like to be wealthy.
Amazing.
Unlocked.
Yeah, girl, I just wear sweats all day.
I know. I was like, I wake up in a shirt, and sometimes I wear it all day, and then I sleep in it. It's really, busy days. You know those days where you wake up and you're like, oh, let me just get a few emails out, and then I'll, whatever, go get dressed, do this thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like 8 p.m.
And then you've just... Yeah, it's like I got my few emails done, and then I kept going and kept going.
You're like, not leaving the house isn't always a benefit, because sometimes it turns into this.
Okay, one last one I wanted to mention is like kind of a one outfit that I think is pretty common.
Okay.
No, okay, so I wouldn't put this in the iconic category, but I was surprised how often this comes up, is like a white dress, like white flowy dress that the virgin girl gets saved in solitaire.
Yeah.
Like white, I'm trying to think who else now wears white
Bond
dresses.
is just like
I
making
had them all in my head.
White statements on women.
All
the time.
Octopussy, the Magda girl with the white dress and the belts. I mean, there's it's quite often. I mean, I thought about like, is it a thing like to wear a red dress or like the little black dress or something, but not really. I think it's more about white dress than any other color.
I think the purpose of the
interesting.
White dress for me seems like it's just, especially thinking about back in the day, I just think they're in an evening setting. It's very eye catching. Like it's rare to see a white person. It's rare to see a white dress on someone in an evening gown setting, like in a nighttime kind of setting, to have something white. Same with a white bikini. Like I think the reason it's white is because it's like eye catching if it's white, and it's white clothing is very wealthy. Like you have to be able to keep that clean, and the fact that it is clean says a lot about your not only your wealth, but your like care and your class, and you're not like walking through areas that might have dirt on them. Like it's just white is not only a sign of innocence and stuff. Like I think when it's on underwear and robes and everything, it's meant to be like, I'm a sweet woman, like partially. So that's a nice conquer for you. But I think when it's in like outdoor clothing, not in the bedroom clothing, it's more of like money and standing
that
out.
Makes sense,
that's what I think.
Yeah.
But I
feel
forth.
that.
Okay.
No, I kind of agree with you because it's also harder to wear white at evening.
100%.
Like, you know, Tracy does it so well in On Her Majesty's with the white beaded everything. It's
my
gorgeous.
God. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one.
I know. And often because I think it can be seen as bridal, but to pull off white
interesting,
wear is like, ooh,
you know,
intrigued.
I didn't even think about the bridal aspect. I think when you see a white dress in the daylight, there's a definite like innocence / bridal aspect for sure.
Yes.
I guess when I see it in the nighttime, it's still bridal. So, but I don't think that way. It probably says more about me though than the intention of the costumer.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Who, if you were to guess, like, because I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
Who do you think is the most cosplayed Bond girl, or like the most cosplayed Bond look? If you just had to guess,
I would say the white bikini, and so probably generally
I think so too.
It's Ursula Andress. Is that the right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm finally getting some names right.
You got it. High five.
It only took 3 seasons, 2 years, 3 years.
Not bad. There's so many Bond girls. Like trying to remember every name of each Bond girl and what they're wearing just from the top of my head. Impossible. So good job.
Thank you. And I will say, as someone who's bad with names, this is a big accomplishment.
It's a win. Yeah. So yes, Ursula Andress, white bikini.
You can't keep talking about this. I have to do another cosplay now. Like tomorrow, I'm literally like trying. My mind is like, who can I text to help with photography? And do I have the right bottoms? Okay. I need to calm down. You're getting me so. I have so much to do. I can't, but I need to. But
I love it. I love it. Go with the inspiration. So I fully agree with you. And then, I asked Ricky, my husband, I asked him, who do you think is the most cosplayed Bond girl? You know what he said?
Wait, let me guess. Oh my God. It's good. Wait. Oh my God. I really want to guess, but I'm like
dying for you to guess.
the most cosplayed Bond girl. Who does he think is the most cosplayed Bond girl? Okay, hold on.
It's like, it's okay. I just give you a hint that it's not like a real answer. It's kind of, but it's going to throw you off guard, I think.
Okay, I don't know. The white bikini? I don't know.
Okay, so I was like, what do you think is the most cosplayed outfit? He goes, the woman with the shoe knife.
What? Okay. First of all,
it's like, okay, but if you think about it, not even by women, it could be quite a cosplayed outfit.
Sure. I mean, it kind of felt like Ricky is like incredibly intelligent, so this is what makes it funny to say this, but it kind of felt like it was a moment where like he didn't understand the assignment. Like maybe we should define our cosplay in our way before asking something.
But so I laughed and he's like, well, I just hope it is.
Oh, that is the cutest. I mean, he's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong. It's just a little adjacent to how we're framing it.
It is very adjacent. Because I'm like, come on, she's a Bond villain. And then it's like, okay, like what's Bond villain henchman versus Bond girl? Like, whatever. And we're getting like into details here, but
a shoe
we're defining it as like,
it's not a whole, it's not
we're defining like Bond, like, main Bond girl outfits. It's fashionable. Like,
if you asked me what's the most cosplayed Bond look, like male Bond, James Bond,
James Bond,
and I was like,
male Bond,
a fancy car. You'd be like, okay, well, but is well. Cute. Okay, cute. Love it. I bet there are people listening to this who are like, that's what I would have said, because we have a lot of male listeners too. And I feel like, straight up cosplay is more of a female topic. I just think it's a much larger community of women that cosplay than men. So I'm sure a lot of guys are like, yes, represent Ricky.
No, that's true. It is more female oriented, this area.
Okay, Elma, I have a question I kind of know the answer, but I kind of want to talk about it. So it's a little bit of a cheat question, but
yeah, okay.
I want to ask you, if you were to cosplay anyone, and you can also say if we were to cosplay anyone, what look would you cosplay? I mean, also knowing that like we are in Bond, so I think we would cosplay more, not just the like basic iconic looks, but some more specific to film looks.
Oh yeah, like there's so many fun. Okay, I mean, how many do you want?
Just what comes to mind. What would you love to cosplay? What do you think you might actually cosplay if you ever would? I don't know. Would you?
I would love to, and I would cosplay the Pussy Galore's Flying Circus Girls with their full jumpsuits, the white belts, the white little booties.
Okay,
but these are like side characters.
White jumpsuit.
They're like 60s. No, blue. It was either navy blue or black jumpsuit, but there was white.
Oh, yes. Got it.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
I somehow heard white. I don't
know. white belt and then white booties.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So cute. That would be fun.
Great group costume.
There's some like gorgeous robe stuff, but it's a robe is a robe. I don't know.
I feel like the robes
specific you can get.
I feel like with the robes, you're going to get to my next question, which is just talking generally about photographing cosplay. Like if you're cosplaying to just be in it, that's one thing. But if you're cosplaying and wanting to like to photograph it as a cosplay, it's like two different styles of cosplaying, right? Because then the photography can lend itself to showing that it's a character, like as opposed to
you can stage it and stuff a little bit more.
How we're talking about needing to have iconic elements. If you're doing a cosplay just for to photograph it to show people, as opposed to wearing it to a party, then you can have the photography as a big part of bringing that character to life. And you don't, like those iconic elements you need to get that character across. Some of them can be like the location, the camera angle, the type of expression, like those come into play. So it's kind of a different subject, but
pro tip, yes. Okay.
Pro tip. But we can talk about that in a minute. I want to hear more of who you'd cosplay and all this.
And then, okay. So, what were their names? Zora and Vida, I think. The two girls in From Russia with Love. The two gypsy women in From Russia with Love that have the little tied skirts and then...
Is this a future dream of ours? Can we do this together?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't that like a fourth one of us to do together on the list? Might be.
Yeah, probably.
I'm gonna literally write that down. Epic.
Please. That one. I personally would love to do some Mayday stuff. You know how much I love that last look that she wears with like the thigh high boots.
Yes, and you should cosplay that so much. It's so funny because I mean her hair's real short, so your hair's real long and big. I'm like, I guess a ponytail works. Elma has the thickest, most gorgeous, long, beautiful hair.
Oh, but she wears a lot of hoods, so
if you did a hooded look, or you could
there you go.
I was gonna say collab, you could combine the high shoe and the hood and make it just like a general Mayday vibe, because she wears such similar items. I feel like you could really do that with her character.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love also, I mean, Tracy wears so many beautiful things, but they're all kind of like they look hard to fabricate or hard to find the specific thing.
They feel a little bit more
I would love to do.
I just want to own that piece.
Yeah, exactly. It's less of a stepping into a new character. Oh, I don't know. I mean, it is kind of.
It's cool,
but,
but
Mayday feels like
a character.
Yeah, exactly. Zora and Vida are a look, especially because it's like two of them together.
Yeah.
I think in Dr. No, Honey Riders like Chung Sam, Chi Pao type, the Mandarin collar, pink silk top with pink pants.
Yeah.
Like that would
that'd
be so
wonderful.
cute, right? So pretty. And let me think. Do you have some in mind? I'm still
I have
trying
loads.
to remember.
When it comes to us together, I keep thinking of iconic ones. What was there was that one scene, not to give you like the tiniest character in this, but I think visually it's gorgeous. There's that one scene, we've talked about this. I think it's Pussy Galore there's an Asian woman like flight attendant on the airplane with her in this gold top
or something.
Yeah. Just like any kind of cosplay of that with you and I would be so cool. I just love all the gold. The outfits are so cool, and we could make it look so good so easily. I mean, my hair is kind of short now, but when it grows out a little, I can do that hairstyle she has, which
oh my god,
we can check mark some of the iconic elements with not only your Asian also, but your hair looks so like the girls. You have the same length, same texture. You can do the styling she has.
We can do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be so cute. We'll just need a private jet.
That's the only thing.
We can borrow for the photography.
Well, if the location is the hard part, what can we fill it in with? And, and the outfits are easy enough to cosplay that I think we can get. This is how my mind works. Like, there are enough iconic elements that the cosplay can be pulled off, I think, between us. So I think about that.
Yes,
I think Zara and Vita, I had not thought about that, but like, let's cosplay that for sure.
Cute. I think that would be on the easier side to do too.
Yeah.
I think we can make that happen. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Bambi and is it Bambi and Thumper? Yeah. I think we gotta cosplay that.
Fun. Okay, but we need to give
with a bond with David Zariski. We talked about that, right? If he was ever around, we would do it with him.
We need a better outfit than the sack, though.
Yeah, we'll
figure
just
something
update
out.
it, or we'll really make it a sack
Updated
and make
sack.
fun of that.
Okay.
One or the other, because you're right. The homage element, we gotta we can't just let it be exactly how it was. We gotta pull it in a little bit somehow.
Yeah.
And
bring your own sack.
Yeah, bring your own sack.
Okay.
I feel like there was another duo that I thought of for us.
Mishka and Grishka?
We did shoot no. We did shoot the one we shot already, we're cosplaying as a man and a woman, as Bond and a woman.
Yes.
And it's more of an iconic
fun
scene. Yeah.
Fun.
So that cool. Already in the works, but there was another one I thought that we had been thinking about, and I don't remember.
Bond girl duo?
I think it was another girl duo, but maybe it's in the ether. It'll come back around when it does. What I would like to do myself. Oh, you have a thought?
I just thought of one more. And I don't think you saw the Moonraker yet, but it's the Moonraker Girls, and they're I've sent you this picture like 1,000 times. Yeah, the white short dress that's like skater skirt style with the slits on the side and a plunge V and the little buckle. Yes, that we've got to make happen. Okay, continue. Go ahead.
I think if somebody really had the time and energy and effort, I think a really epic cosplay would be Solitaire in her like chair coat dress. Oh my
god! Yes.
Very
the
cool.
Chair dress.
And there are a lot of iconic elements in that, so if someone knew the movie, it'd be very recognizable, which is wonderful for a cosplay. Like, her makeup is so specific as well.
The gold.
Yeah,
that's a great one.
Oh good. That
would be epic as fuck.
Epic. What I would want to do on my own is, I still really like, it's in my goals and dreams that I want to do the white bikini, and I want to do the Ursula Andress white bikini, like off the top. And this is one we had talked about, if you would hypothetically join me to do Bond's look, because Bond's look when he's with her is fun and cute and pretty easy to pull off. So that's one we could do together. Maybe that's the one I was thinking of, but either way,
yes, that'd be so cute. And Bond's look is you're talking about the blue.
They come off a little periwinkle to me, which I think is I really like that it's like a little different than what you just find in a store. Yeah, very cool. I have already done a James Bond cosplay that is not released yet, so I'll not mention that. And I also did another woman from the same movie as the Bond cosplay I did. So there's like the man and the woman. will maybe someday be released. It's not that iconic, but if you have them together, you get it. The other one that I've been really wanting to do, I mean, it's so fun. I just mentioned these at the top of the episode. What a funny thing that I'm now mentioning them again, is I want to do that gold girl so bad. Gold bikini girl, gold finger, gold girl.
Yes. Gold girl.
Yes.
Golden girl. I love
the
it.
golden girls. I so badly want to do it. But that's hard. Like, you need like a team and help, and costs money to, like, I've been looking into that much of a gold body paint, body paint, so it's not toxic.
It's your full body.
Yeah, that because I don't want to actually dye like she did, so I can't use just whatever paint. But like, it's actually, you can find little bits of like gold face paint. It's not too expensive, but enough to cover the whole body. I'm like, maybe
like
I'll do just a headshot. Yeah, like, I don't know, I'll do it in a way that's maybe not the whole thing, because until I have enough. Yeah, not just cost, but like help. It's not something you can do on your own. Yeah, you really need like at least 2 people to help you. And it's a timely process. Anyway, that's a big one. Lou, did we finish with all the ones you wanted to do? Were there any more? Are considering doing?
I have to mention just last one, Paloma. We have to just mention Paloma because she's absolutely gorgeous, and everyone
desperately.
I mean, who wouldn't want to dress like that and wield
I desperately want to.
submachine guns, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I so deeply want to cosplay Paloma so bad.
So bad.
Yes.
Oh, great. Yeah. I love her. Okay. That's it for me. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's talk about the photography a little bit, just because I keep teasing it, and then we can get out of the way.
Yes.
By the way, if you guys are interested in any of these topics specifically you would like us to expand on, please comment it on our Instagram at dressed2killpod. We love to hear about it, and we're happy to expand on things.
Mm-hmm.
So, to the photography. I'm actually a photographer, for any of you. Any of you being like, what gives her the right? Yeah.
Amazing photographer. Yes.
Thank you.
My bestie. She shoots for my brand often.
I do. And since the pandemic, I got a lot more into self-portraits and photographing cosplays. Basically, that's kind of how I got through 2020.
Yeah, I love it.
So I got a little deep dive. Yeah. I think photography, when it comes to cosplays, it might be obvious, but in case it's not, you have the same elements where you're trying to get the like iconicness. I think location is really important. But what's wonderful about a movie like this is, like, for example, that airplane shot, you can set it up where you don't need to see all the elements of the airplane. You just need the right like textures, colors to make it feel like, oh, this is a corner of the airplane or something like that. Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
I think I'd really have to look back, but like airplane seats look a really specific way, so I wouldn't lean on that. But you could totally imitate like what the bar area of the airplane looks like, or maybe if she's coming out of a doorway, you can shoot it in front of a doorway in a certain way where you don't see the frame, you just see like the fact that there's a door there. Or you could get creative and cut out like an airplane peephole and stick that behind you with some fairly plain set, as long as there's light coming through it, and kind of imitate it in that way. So there's ways to do it really creatively or more grounded. What I would love for us to do is to shoot that cosplay like on an airplane hangar near like some private jets or something. Like, I have a bunch of friends who are flight attendants and pilots, and
cool.
I think there is a chance if we made it kind of big picture and we actually went forth and did this, there is a way maybe to cosplay shooting in front of an airplane, which would be rad.
That would be so cute.
I know. So, but there are ways, like kind of the reason I want to shoot Ursula Andress's white bikini is because I have access to Hawaii, which looks very similar to her backdrops, and I feel like
there's
Hawaii
sand
with the white bikini, like
you kind of have to do it.
It works with the vibe so well. So location is pretty important with the photography, unless you really want it to be just about the character. Like, for example, I did Scooby-Doo characters, and they're in a million different locations. I mean, you can kind of shoot it in front of a spooky house, and that would be the right vibe. But you can totally shoot a character like that on just like a blank colored paper wall backdrop, and you get the idea. You don't need a specific location. I feel like with the gold woman from Bond, you don't need a specific location, but a bedroom would be helpful. And just the way that you shoot it can really help. Like Elma helped me shoot a cosplay in Paris once, actually. It was of the movie Charade, I believe. I was doing Audrey Hepburn's character, and she's on the phone in this one shot and talking to someone in like a phone booth, just like, and she's very surprised. Oh my God, this thing's going on. So I just did an imitation of her.
That movie.
Me too. Love it. I did an imitation of her makeup, and I did as similar as I could of a wardrobe, because of course, like, traveling with cosplay is complex. That's a lot of space in a suitcase. So I did like a similar type of trench coat, a similar type of couple of things. But what really made it work is my doing the facial expressions, having the right angle that the shot is from the film. Like, it's just waist up, and she's holding a phone, so you have an accessory to work with the character, and she's doing a specific expression. So if you get those elements in there, the outfit doesn't have to be as perfect. Like my outfit, she's wearing a normal trench coat, and I have like a dark burgundy trench coat, and my hair was bright pink. Like, there are a lot of things that are different. Yes. I have a hair scarf, but it's like completely the wrong color, texture, length. But with those other elements, and with the photography matching the scene it's from, it works. Yes, so that's how you can kind of like pull together a cosplay with the photography.
Right. That's so smart, and also simple. Like, getting just the right framing and stuff like can add so much.
I'd say if you're new to photography, what I'd focus on is getting the right length of lens. So that just means like how wide or how zoomed in your lens is, because that really changes the feeling of a scene. So I think a mistake I often see is the normal lens on your iPhone camera, or like most basic lenses are like fairly wide. They'll be like 35 to 50 millimeters if it's just like a kit lens that comes with a camera. That's a fairly wide lens for a film, especially something fashion or like spy oriented. Those tend to use longer lenses, which are like 85 millimeter or like 100 millimeter, like higher numbers. So I would pay attention to like how wide the image, not literally how much is in the image, but how wide the lens is. So like how, I don't know how else to describe that. You should Google it.
It captures?
I'd have to show you how wide the lens is, as opposed to how like tight it is, how zoomed in it is, how close the shot is, how much of the background that shows or is cut out by the length of the lens. And that will really help you to like hammer home the idea. So like, rather than having the lens super wide but close to someone, if it's a tight shot, zoom in, crop in, make it tighter. Yeah, that's a big like a big giveaway of like, oh, you did that really well, and it really communicates. Because the thing about lenses in films is it really it's more of like, I think, an emotional thing. Like if it's a wide lens or a long lens, they feel different. They really feel different. So it'll communicate the scene so much better if you're trying to imitate it, if you're using a similar type of length of lens. Anyway.
Okay, cool.
Gets the mood across better.
Pro tips. Yes.
And lighting, obviously. Neat. Lighting's important. Best you can. Match the lighting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lou.
Very cool. Okay.
We have completely sidestepped why some of these looks are so iconic in their like history, craftsmanship, like the reason, like James Bond is this like franchise that's been around for so long and really like paved the way in so many ways, and that's why a lot of these things are so iconic. That's why all of this. So we need to talk about it.
Yeah, and
start us off.
If you think about any of the franchises that do exist, like Bond, I think is the most fashionable, or is often thought of as like the style, the one with the fashion. Like I don't know. Marvel is iconic as hell, and people can cosplay the superheroes for sure,
but it's not
but
fashion.
It's not like fashion. Thank you.
It's costume.
Yes.
It's cosplay.
Yes.
Emphasis on the cos.
Literally the cos. Right. Yes. So that's what makes Bond so fun for me. And I mean, if you talk about that first white bikini, like it became so iconic because you didn't see bikinis on the screen so much yet. It was a new thing. It was bold to have a leading female character in a two-piece.
I mean, most people around the world did not even have access, and a lot of people probably had never seen on a person a two-piece, or maybe seen it once or twice, but like to have it fully straight up in a film, in that early film at least. And what we talked about on the episode with my mom about the height of the bottoms, the waistline of the bottoms.
Yes, the low rise.
Low rise was not a thing at all. Like, I did not realize the importance of low rise. When I was thinking about cosplaying that, I had been thinking, oh, if I find a high rise white bikini bottom that works with the outfit, then I'll just get it. It's fine. I'll use that. But ever since talking in more detail about the like actual kind of cultural importance of it being low rise has completely changed my mind. Like now if I do if I do an actual cosplay, it's pretty important that it be low rise. That's like a really, although it's more cultural and not obvious to everyone, that is important.
I agree. Yeah, definitely. So little elements like that, like getting it right. I think other things that one can think about or should think about for like doing a cosplay. So yes, these are the things to think about when, you know, you cosplay a Bond girl. Is often, if it's the evening gowns, it's something silk or like, something a little bit shiny and slinky. Yeah. I think that it's always going to be luxury is what the woman is wearing and exudes. Men. Yeah. And the men, yes. But I think if you think about the cuts and the silhouettes that they wear, it's often very clean lines, nothing fussy, except for when you get to the 80s. There is a little bit more fussiness, I think. But that's the 80s, so that's its own category.
80s.
Yeah. But even then, like Pam Bouvier wore a very beautiful, the American agent girl with the short hair, when she had that sparkly high neck, like evening gown. It's clean, simple lines like that. Like I think whether it's a plunge neckline or a long flowy dress, it's something not fussy. And then in terms of colors, I think you see them wearing a full array of colors, but often it's like it's either something bold in the color or the shape. And it, like, let's say, do you remember in Casino Royale the woman who's the wife of Demetrios? She's wearing that like bright coral colored
with the back lace up back.
Yeah, the back. Okay, so that's a little bit fussy in my opinion.
But it's bold.
But it's bold, yes. Or like I mentioned earlier, Plenty O'Toole in Diamonds Are Forever in that dark purple, or Vesper Lind in Casino Royale in her kind of magenta purple evening gown. So
I feel
rich tones,
whites, reds, and then bold jewel tones.
Jewel tones is a good way to put it.
You know what? I don't know. I feel like there are not as many. I would assume black dresses, but I'm actually thinking back. I think they try to be different more, and there are not so many black dresses.
So yes, so I can think of a couple. Like again, Vesper Lind wears a black dress in also Casino Royale, but what's her name?
Yeah, there are a few.
Oh, actually, you haven't even seen this one, so never mind. I was going to say in Man with the Golden Gun, the woman who plays Octopussy, who is also in Man with the Golden Gun as a Bond girl, she wears a gorgeous black dress, but it's rarer.
So maybe, okay, rarer.
Or like, let's say like a Bond girl can wear like 2 or 3 evening gowns in one movie.
Yeah.
There's usually like a bold one, and then maybe a black one or a subtle color. Like Madeline Swan has a very subtle color, like that misty color one in Spectre, for example.
I think that's her version of a white. In that movie, they wanted the same thing, but they were like, it's whatever year it was, 2016.
15.
So 2015, we need something that fits to the current woman. I feel like white would just be like bride. In that setting. Yeah. But I think I'm just wrong about the black. I think there's enough Bond girls who wear black. I'm noticing more that they do the bold things, but usually the black dresses have a bold cut. So
Yeah, but or it's like, you know, the ones that stand out or are memorable are the ones with the bold color, perhaps.
That's true. It's just what I remember.
But like navy blue is a color that people like. I mean,
Very
Bond girls
common
like.
Bond girl color. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Strange. I guess is it related to him being in the military or something? I don't know. I feel like
I think it's just a off black, like it's just another
for black.
Yeah, it's an alternative, and like you said, like maybe they're trying to be different. This is a way to be a little bit different. When I think black is a very typical evening gown color, like the navy blue one is like slightly more unique, but still very classic. You know, they tread that line all the time.
Yeah.
But yes.
So there you go. If you want to do a Bond cosplay, Bond girl cosplay, excuse me, you can do a very luxurious robe. You could do a bold evening gown. Do a swimwear with a knife.
Yeah, swimwear with a knife.
An iconic bikini, ideally white with a knife. You could do a cat suit. And you might just have to slightly remind people like, hello, Bond girls do it too. Because they might be like, sorry, spy something, Catwoman. You'd be like, yeah, spy something, Bond woman. Come on.
Yes, exactly.
Unless you have a motorcycle. That might bring it home.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. And then I think the bottom line is like just feeling sexy and confident like that.
Yeah.
Pulling that in. Like all the women carry that. Even.
Yeah. And if you're doing it for a real life or a cosplay, like if you're doing it for like a real life style choice to just imitate, or if you're doing a legit cosplay, it's for Bond women especially, it's 100% about the attitude.
It is, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it.
And you know, I think that's why we do those homage-y things where we're like, oh, I like what she's wearing, I want to wear it. Because that's a common characteristic in Bond women that we want to embody. We want to pull out our bold, brave, confident side. So we choose a look that's similar to a Bond woman. I'm down. I'm for it. I love that.
Me too.
Clothing and makeup is like, I was just saying today that it's armor if you're like needing to like, okay, got to be brave about this thing. But it's also just, it helps to build who I am, who I want to be. Like it's so vital and important to me as a fashion person. I know this isn't the case for everyone. Are you this way too, Lou?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's
I would assume
like you we make these choices of what we want to wear because we want to represent a certain part of us, or we want to be a certain way, or you know, like it's like when even if I work from home all the time, okay, maybe this is a bad example. I was going to say like you put on like a certain outfit and it puts you in the work mode. This is more, I read an interview once with Roald Dahl, or Sophie Dahl, Roald Dahl's daughter, but she was saying how her dad, Roald Dahl, would always, no matter what, he'd put on his jacket and like go to the typewriter. It's like very, you know, he's wearing his blazer to do his work. That's like his work mode. It puts you in a certain feeling and a mood and a setting. Clothing has the power to change the way you feel.
Yeah.
And the way that you're seeing, because it is the way that you are wanting to represent yourself. Doesn't matter, even if you don't care about fashion, like that's a choice, right?
Yeah.
There are other things that are more important to you, maybe.
I mean, Queer Eye, I think the show has proven that even people who seem to, like occasionally they'll have people who don't really care about style or clothing or whatever, but when you put them in different clothes and really empower them that they are allowed to be that version of themselves, people, it really is shifting for people. I think whether you're really conscious of or interested in style and clothes or not, it is something that can shift you. Yeah, it transforms you for better, worse, neutral, sidestep, like adjacent feeling. It can shift you for any which way, but it really does and can shift you, I think. And for people like us who are more very conscious and considerate and caring of the clothes we wear, like I'm obsessed with what I choose to wear. It really affects me because I feel like that it being conscious is like next level.
Totally. Yes,
big
I agree.
Time.
Yes. Anyway, we love fashion, and cosplaying is so much fun.
We love fashion. We love cosplaying. We empower you. If you guys have any cosplay pictures, if you've just done like little low key, like, oh, I'm just going to wear this for the day and it's inspired by, we would love to see pictures of y'all dressed in any kind of like Bond inspired in any way, actual cosplays. Tag us in your posts if you've got some, or maybe DM them to us, because sometimes after the fact tagging in a post is not easy to find. We would love to see. Please share them and let us know, of course, if you have any feelings about everything we talked about. Comment it on our Instagram, especially at Dressed to Kill Pod is where we interact most. And of course, we have our Twitter at DTKPOD, which is fine. It's a bit of a graveyard. It's a ghost town. But it's fine. The option is there. If anyone loves it, we are paying attention. When you come over there, we see you. But it's fine. We prefer Instagram too, so we get it. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you loved this episode. And I guess we'll talk to you next week, huh?
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Okay, bye-bye. It's good. We got it.